Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Junking with Gigi. My name is Kay. If this is the first time you've visited my channel, I call it Junking with Gigi because that's what my grandchildren call me. That's the only reason I named my channel that. So I have a number of kind of journal / book covers here that I've been kind of hanging on to for a while, wanting to kind of revamp them and use them as covers for junk journals. So I thought I'd start a little series of videos doing just that. I have got all of these except for this one at thrift stores. They had paper or book pages in them, and I've taken those out and used them for other things. This one I made a long time ago, just out of scrapbook paper, and I just kind of decoupage with some Mod Podge, some gauze over the top of this. It's very flimsy. I made it one of those ones where you can remove the pages. I actually have a kind of a double envelope in there right now. I started making this and I wasn't happy with it. And I kind of just put it aside and forgot about it for a very long time. So I need to do something with this. I don't care for it. But you know how we are in the junk journaling world. We don't like to throw things away. We like to try and redo them, fix them, change them, and make them work for us because we hate to throw things away. So that's that one. These two were actually blank journals that I took the pages out of to use for other projects. This had recycled craft paper in it. This had some kind of cream colored lined paper in it. It's beautiful paper, but I've used it and been using it for other things. But once again, I was like, these are pretty decent covers and would make nice little 2 or 3 signature journals, so I hung on to them. That's those two. This one I picked up at a thrift store, and it's actually wood, these two covers. It's actually pretty nice. I don't know what I'll do if I'll do anything to change it all that much, except for maybe adding to it. It says Surrounded in Love. It's got a really pretty leaf foliage image with some metallic accents on it. And looking at this, I actually see it was intended to be used to save greeting cards. When people give you cards, if you want to save them, this is the hole punch guide. You're supposed to put those in there and then add them to this. It came with the front and the back cover. This is actually Hallmark, and it's actually got this really nice little book plate adhered to the inside of the front cover. So I'm thinking about just maybe not totally changing this one up, but adding to it and maybe using rings in here instead of this ribbon that came with it. And then this final one, which is the one I'm going to work on today. This was a book that I gutted. I got this, I think, for about $1 at the thrift store, and it had some really nice English prose, verse and prose paper in it that I've been using for book page projects off and on. But this cover is lovely. I just love this deep shade of kind of barn red almost here. And I think this is the one I'm going to work on today. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to cover up all the red, though, entirely, because I really like that red. But I do want to alter it and prepare it for signatures for a junk journal. The first thing I'm going to do to this cover is some stenciling. And I'm kind of thinking that I want to do I want to keep the red, but I also want to add gold metallic and then vintagey laces to this cover to decorate it. and get it ready to use. And I also found this beautiful digital image. This came from a digital collage club. It's kind of a Art Nouveau pack they have on the digital collage club, of this lovely lady with kind of a stained glass image behind her, and then these, I think these are Lily of the Valley flowers. I thought I would include this image on the front cover, but before I do anything else, I want to do some stenciling in some gold paint as kind of a background. And I'm going to be using my DecoArt 24 karat gold metallic paint. I've got my little dauber here, and I've went through my stencils and I found this pretty stencil. It's just got some different kind of swirly flourishes on it, and I'm gonna put them in random spots around front, back, cover, and spine, and have that be just kind of a background, a beginning background for this project. So, undo my glue, my paint. Got some in the lids. I'm going to start with that. And what I like to do when I'm stenciling is, I don't like to put it on too heavy, so I'm going to kind of dip it in the paint and then dip it off on my, I've got newspaper print in the background here, just so I don't put it on too heavy. So I think I want to start down here in this corner. Oops, I'm so sorry, I just bumped my phone. With maybe this little flourish here in the corner. I'm actually gonna I think I'm gonna just go slightly off the edge with it, like that. I decided to clean my stencil off between each image that I stencil, just so that I don't accidentally put any smudges of paint anywhere I don't want them. So I'm gonna let that dry and do something over here so I don't risk smearing that. And I think I'm just gonna take one of these longer little flourishes on my stencil here and go along. Maybe I'll do that one. Just kind of, I'm gonna kind of try to center it on the edge here. Actually, I think maybe I'll do it on the spine side of the back cover, and then do something else towards the outer edge. So I'm gonna do this one right here, just a little bit away from the back spine edge. Try and get it as straight as I can. I'm really gonna take my time with this because I really don't want to smear or smudge any paint. So I actually got out my heat gun and I'm gonna use that to dry each little stencil that I do in between, just to make sure nothing happens or gets smeared. to go ahead and do the same image that I did in this bottom right corner up in this top left, only I'm going to kind of do it like in the opposite direction. So I'm going to place this up here like this, kind of just the top of it, just to the very edge, and get it as straight as I can get it. And I realize I'm going over some of this silver. This is going to be covered a little bit later with some lace and stuff, so this will partially be covered, but that's okay. I don't mind that. At my image that I want to put on here, and I think before I do anything else I want to go ahead and I'm going to tear this out, and just so I can kind of place it on there to see how much more of the stenciling I might want to do. So I'm just going to tear this out. Got that cut out, and I went ahead and inked all the way around the edge with some Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. So if I place it about right there, I think I'm gonna take one of these smaller little flourishes and just come in from each other corner with it, like maybe actually facing down. No, I don't really like that. Think about this. Maybe I'll use this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to place that there. I know it's probably going to be partially covered, but I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm going to stencil and then dry this one onto this corner here. If I can get it held flat down enough. Stencil this little one on the back cover, one in each corner, and then I think I'm going to call it done with the stenciling. I actually might add a little something right in there. I'm going to have to cover the spine here and down here. This is an old library sticker, something that I just haven't been able to get off, so I'm going to cover that somehow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that little number right there, but for now I'm just going to stencil this one in these two corners and call it done with the stenciling. So I think I'm going to stop here. I actually did do a little one along the spine there. I'm not sure. I may end up covering it up. I don't know if you can tell. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go along. But I'm going to set this whole thing aside for a few minutes, or for a little while, probably about 30 minutes or so, just to make sure it's good and dry before I proceed with any more decorating. Before I clean up my paint mess, I want to do a little bit of gold splattering on my image here. I have, this is the same metallic paint, but I've got it watered down, and I'm going to use something here. Let me get a scrap to kind of cover up her face, because I don't want to splatter on her face. So let me put that. Like that. And I usually use, where's that splatter brush? I usually use this little brush and dip it in there, and then just kind of take something. I'll use my bone folder and just kind of tap it in there to get the excess off, and then let that dry real good. All right, my paint is all good and dry. So I have gone into my stash and pulled out some different things to use to finish this journal, including some different laces, a doily. This is the other half of that digital page I got this picture out of. I have a little label here I might put down here in this space. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes kind of figuring out what I want to do to finish this off. After quite a bit of fiddling around, I think maybe I finally figured it out. This is what I've come up with. I've used a doily, some of that digital paper to cover up different things that were on here that I didn't want to show, different laces. Of course, my focal point digital, I stamped the word lovely on this little brown label to put in that little kind of space right there, and a few little applique flowers down here on the bottom right. I think it's going to look real pretty. I had a lot more stuff on there and I thought it was just way too busy looking, so I removed a few things. So now I'm going to start gluing all this down. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to very carefully start gluing all of this down. I'm going to sit down for this. So, I think I'll start down here on the bottom with the very first thing, which is just a little scrap of paper covering up that little number. So I added a couple more little things, another little piece of lace here and this rickrack. I didn't like the way the raw edge of this piece of lace was looking, so I wanted to cover that up. And I added this piece of lace because I had a little bit of a gap between the laces here. And I also added a piece of that rickrack down at the bottom here just to kind of tie it in together. So I think I'm done. I know I left the back kind of plain, but I mean, it's the back, right? So this is what the front looks like when it's closed up. And the spine. And then the back. And I think I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Now what I need to do is on the inside, and I actually kind of like these end pages, or the inside of the covers. It's already, you know, just kind of aged and vintagey looking, so I just need to do something to the spine here. So I grabbed a piece of my tea-dyed cardstock, and I'm going to put that down here. I want to cut it so it overlaps about an inch or so on either side of the spine. So that means I need a piece approximately 3.5 inches, and I'm gonna have to cut that on this side, this long side, so that I have enough length. So let me cut that at 3.5. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take my pencil and mark where I need to cut it. I'm just gonna make it even with these two, with these inside cover pieces. I'm gonna go there. Cut that real quick. Okay. So that's gonna go nicely right there. And then I think I'm going to, actually I'm going to trim off just another little sliver. Got my cutter right here to my right. Okay. And then I'm going to go over it with a piece of this lace. Not for any particular reason other than to just add interest. So I think actually what I'm going to do is overlap this lace a little bit like this, and then when I glue the paper down, it'll glue that down too. I don't want to glue this to the paper because sometimes that Fabri-Tac leaves kind of a shininess, has a kind of a shininess to it when it dries, and I don't want that to show. So I'm not going to glue this to the cardstock because I don't want that to show. So I'm going to cut that like that. Now on this side it can show because this is the side I'm going to glue to the spine. So I'm just going to kind of get this in the middle here. Let me see. Pardon my fiddling around. I'm just trying to figure this out. I need to glue one side and then glue the other. So this is going to get glued down right here. to reinforce that spine. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to put glue all up and down the middle, the actual spine here. And then I'm going to put it on the edges of my reinforcement piece. And a little bit in. I just want to make sure I have plenty of glue on there to hold this in place. Excuse me, I don't know if you heard that. My stomach just growled really loud. Okay, so I'm gonna center that as best I can. And press it down. I'm gonna get my bone folder and burnish it down real good. I'm really not worried about this being loose because when I sew signatures into this book, that's going to secure that piece of lace a little bit better too. I actually probably could put some glue right in the middle because that's not even going to show when I do get around to putting signatures into this. Gold rickrack back out, and I think I'm just going to run a strip of it along either side of that reinforcement piece, just because it'll be pretty. I am finished with this revamping of this journal cover. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. It is actually lovely. And I'm super excited now about working on signatures to sew into this journal. I kept the inside pretty simple. I tried not to make it too busy looking. Let me know what you think about this cover, and stay tuned for more videos in this playlist of revamping covers. I think the name of the playlist is just going to be covers, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I thank you so much for tuning in today. If you liked what you saw in my video today, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that thumbs up to show that you liked it. That'll help my channel grow, and also feel free to share my channel with anybody that you think might be interested in watching my videos. Once again, thank you so much, and God bless.